The opponent might think this is a great matchup for the Alolan Sandalash. They're about to find out it is not. We farm up, fire the super power on the CMP tie. The opponent commits their final shield. My gosh, you will not be taking back switch. We shield up the Ice Punch over farm. Once again, farming up to the CMP tie. It's going to be high Sandslash by Sandslash. Welcome back to the channel. I know it's been a while, but I'm back. I've unfortunately had to work 96 hours this week. I have been very tired, but I did manage to smash out some battles on my lunch break using a real fun core breaker of Chesnaught. This is usually the home of shadow Pokemon. I did say I was going to try some spicy anti-meta picks, and Chesnaught will be the first. We're pairing it with a shadow Walrein on the lead and a shadow Sableye on the save switch. Without any further ado, let's get into the battles. And in game 1, it's the battle of the ice types. I really wish I was the opponent because Walrein doesn't have a particularly good matchup here. Drill Run lands for heavy neutral damage. There's no baits on this channel. The opponent shields. And let me fucking tell you, the next time I see Sandslash, I will bait them because they all shield. I pivot out into Sableye. The opponent throws the Ice Punch, then pivot out into Altaria. They're already down one shield, so does the opponent respect that rock type coverage? They do not, and it lands for huge damage. The opponent overfarms, or at least I thought they did, but this opponent actually full sent a Moonblast. Interesting. You certainly could have went straight Sky Attack. Altaria is now 15 Dragon Breaths away from the Sky Attack, so we need to KO in 7 Vine Whips. We get the perfect farm down. If the opponent sends back out Sandslash, I'm going to farm up to the back-to-back. Superpower, double super effective. The opponent shields the first. They attempt to catch the second. No such luck, trainer. I'm going to fire off the Frenzy Plant. Even debuff, this is going to land for huge super effective damage. And stay in school, kids. Learn to count. We sack the Walrein on the Ice Beam, and this is going to be game over. Ice Beam takes me out. I've just got to farm up to the back-to-back moves. I overfarm far too much for no reason whatsoever. But still, Frenzy Plant takes care of Azumeril, and it's going to be high Sandslash by Sandslash. GG's, and thanks for playing. Chesnaught completes a very nice sweep. In the next battle, we see Quag. Hello Walrein, would you like to win a lead? It clearly doesn't look like it. I attempt to catch the Stone Edge onto Sableye. The opponent holds their energy and pivot out into Mandibuzz. This is where that rock type coverage comes in clutch. I full send the Power Gem. The opponent commits that shield, and that's fine for me. I'm just going to allow Sableye to go down, and we're going to take our shield advantage. My Sableye is actually a beautiful 0-15-15. So we actually tank that. We make the second Power Gem, putting this Mandibuzz into Icicle Sphere range. The opponent does get the full Air/Farm down. I'm going to wait out my timer, allow my switch timer to cool off. We come in, fire off the Icicle Sphere to deny Mandibuzz all of their energy, and I'm going to instantly pivot if the opponent baits or nuke. We don't give a flying fuck. We resist absolutely everything. The opponent full sent the Stone Edge. They pivot out into Sableye, and this giant looking turtle thing is going to core break this opponent. So from a really rough spot, the only lose con would be allowing the opponent to land the return. The opponent full sent it, and for once I decide to use a shield. The opponent let go of the Frenzy Plant. Chesnaught gets the Vine Whip farm down, and the opponent gracefully concedes. Let's go. We pick up a much better lead in the next battle. Swampert doesn't really like Walrein. The opponent save switches into Beedrill, going for some chip and dip. The opponent shields the Icicle Sphere, and I pivot out into Sableye. Even if the opponent sends the Drill Run, we do survive any one move. The opponent throws the X-Scissor. We get to the foul play on a CMP tie. I know I do survive this. Then the opponent is going to be forced to go all shields down, or they're going to lose switch. Either's fine for me. The opponent lets go of the foul play. Swampert is going to get a nice Mudshot farm down, but my god, are they going to be so sad when we show him Chesnaught. The opponent does come in, get the Mudshot farm down. I wait out my timer as they are misaligned. In comes Chesnaught. The opponent's probably thinking, fuck, and they concede. Thank you very much. Moving on to the next one. Walrein into Azumeril. I should have actually stayed in when the opponent switched out into Sableye. I hesitated and switched out into this turtle, and now I'm in a really tricky spot. Walrein does beat Sableye in even shields, and obviously I would have liked Chesnaught aligned against the Azumeril. I gave the opponent a huge Shadow Claw lead. The opponent baited me with a foul play. They're now going straight foul play. So this is going to allow me to take both shields off the opponent. But to be honest, I should have just stayed in and realigned. The opponent has now got switch, and it's all going to depend on what they've got in the back. The opponent dumps energy. I'm really hoping it's Bastiodon in the back, because Walrein can hit him for double super effective with the Earthquake. The opponent is going to make one move, and I'm putting it all on Walrein. However, you're going to see that my team read was dreadful. We do snipe with a powder snow. The opponent sends out Metachan, and we are going to lose. And the moral of the story is switch quicker and don't hesitate. But it is what it is. I played like an absolute potato and I'm about to get fucking wrecked. We've left this one in so you can all laugh at me making a misplay. As people like to say, content creators only show their wins. But definitely this was a huge misplay on my part and I take a loss. Moving on to the next one. Another dreadful lead. However, we normally win the dreadful lead, so I can't complain. We pivot into Sableye and the opponent answers with Whimsicott. Yikes. Power Gem draws a shield off the opponent, which is probably best case scenario. The opponent farms up a boatload of energy. I'm not going to shield Sableye up. The opponent full sends the Moonblast and that does huge damage. We can now come into Walrein. I am going to shield one Seed Bomb. I am going to have to tank one, but I'm going to commit to the very aggressive Powder Snow farm down. Seed Bomb, not the best move. Even a Shadow Walrein can tank it. We do tank, we do commit to the full farm down. If they send back out Registeel, I'm full sending the Earthquake. I'm looking top right. The opponent actually sends out Jellicent. I throw one Powder Snow and the Earthquake, but of course the opponent gets 4 free turns. Niantic, fix your fucking game. I always say for a 1, 4 or 7, 2 turn versus 3 turn. However, the game is running like absolute shit. So we give the opponent 4 free turns. They pivot out now, back into Registeel. One superpower doesn't knock out, so I throw the Frenzy Plant. I'm just going to shield up whatever they throw. They go for the Focus Blast. We can now overfarm massively. Superpower will be deleting the Tin Can when Jellicent does return. Hopefully we don't lag a turn, so we throw one Vine Whip and the Frenzy Plant. The game works correctly. We only give them 1 free turn. Frenzy Plant lands for huge damage and we get the Vine Whip farm down and we take that game. Yikes, Walrein lead is dreadful. We see the Bear Trap. It's a no thank you from me, so I pivot out into Sableye. The opponent attempted to catch a foul play on Clefable, but all they catch is the work of Sableye. We land the Power Gem, which actually lands for huge damage. This is going to allow me to flip switch. We shield up the Meteor Mash. We do manage to Shadow Claw farm all the way down. Back out comes Stunfisk. We fire off the foul play and it looks like CMP. Foul play draws a Protect Shield. The opponent actually got denied. So again, Niantic, please fix the game. They full send the Earthquake, taking me out with Realign. We've got the exact alignment that we want. One of the reasons I really wanted to try out Chesnaught is the fact that it's grass, fighting typing, resists both rock and ground. So Stunfisk can do absolutely nothing. I overfarm, fire off the Frenzy Plant, expecting this to knock out. The opponent survives on minimal HP, pivot out into Pelipper. We're going to throw the Frenzy Plant. The opponent commits that final shield and in comes Walrein. Walrein does hit this fly-in toilet for neutral Icicle Sphere. Does land. The opponent can throw the Hurricane, but even if they Hurricane me, they're going to be in Vine Whip farm down range. The opponent full sends. Chesnaught can come in, get the Vine Whip farm down. Back out comes Stunfisk, and one Vine Whip takes the dub. Let's go. Another Bear Trap lead. Holy crap, Walrein not winning many leads. We save switch into Sableye, and the opponent answers with Mandibuzz. This Mandibuzz, unlike the last one, is running Snarls. This is actually objectively better for us as they're not offering anywhere near as much fast move pressure. I'd really love switch. We want Chesnaught aligned with that Bear Trap at all costs. I am going to commit a shield here. Surely the opponent wants to keep alignment as well. I throw 4 Shadow Claws and the bait. I really expected the opponent to shield. They did not, and that is brutal. I'm going to throw the foul play here. The opponent can shield this up. Despite me throwing a really shitty bait, I am going to be able to take back switch. It is going to cost me 2 shields. However, I think it's worth it. As Chesnaught beats this Bear Trap, even in the 0-1 shield, back out comes Stunfisk. The opponent doesn't want to commit that final shield on a foul play, so they dump energy. I send out Chesnaught. The opponent's got the mighty blue mouse in the back, and my god, Chesnaught about to feast. Frenzy Plant doesn't draw the final shield. The opponent gets himself super low. We pivot out, catching the double resisted Ice Beam onto Walrein, and this is just going to be game over. You can see by the huge amount of lag, the opponent wasn't a fan of that catch, and a force close of the app. Walrein gets the Powder Snow farm down. I think no one's been more tilted at the way this game's running this season than me. However, if you've got no win con, please just top left. Don't force close the app because it causes this huge amount of lag. You can see even when I throw the Earthquake, I have to waste 10 seconds of my life waiting for the game to finally catch up, and we finally take the dub. Moving on to the next one. The battle of the ice types, and unfortunately for me, my ice type is not winning this matchup. The opponent farms up 1 before the Earthquake. We're going to tank the drill run. and we're going to throw the bait. Is Jamie Finn the best master baiter in the world? Let's see if the opponent craps their pants. Yes, they do. We're going to instantly pivot now into Sableye. Shadow on Shadow Crime. Shadow Sandalash hits pretty hard. The opponent throws the Ice Punch, now pivot out into Venusaur. Venusaur not the bulkiest, so they're not going to appreciate this foul play. The opponent lets it go. You can see the Shadow Claws have got them so low. And actually, fuck it. We're going to go all in on Sableye. The opponent throws the Frenzy Plant. We commit to the Shadow Claw farm down, back out. Comes Sandslash. Sandslash not going to appreciate this foul play either. The opponent lets it go. They get farmed down. Shadow Sableye running through the opponent's team. The opponent has their own Sableye. In the back, we throw the foul play, drawing the final shield. We can now send out Chesnaught. We are going to outpace the Frenzy Plant before they reach the return, and Frenzy Plant is going to nearly one-shot. The opponent isn't going to be able to overfarm all that much. Return will be taking me out. However, the opponent realises it's over. They hit no bubbles, and we take that game. We see the battle of the water types. Azumeril into Walrein. It's pretty neutral, to be honest. We're both hitting each other for resisted with the quick moves. The opponent has stab, play rough. However, Azumeril doesn't hit all that hard. We've got non-stab Earthquake. However, with Shadow bonus, it does hit relatively hard. Earthquake draws a shield off the opponent, then now pivot out into Stunfisk, and high Stunfisk meet Chesnaught. We do wall this energy completely. However, today, well not today, when I played these battles for the first time I ever used Chesnaught, I was unsure if one superpower does knock out. So I throw the first Frenzy Plant. You're going to see it does huge damage. A superpower definitely would have knocked out. The opponent is at another Earthquake. I will survive. So we do tank it, and I'm going to throw one more Frenzy Plant. I think the better play would have been just to throw the superpower, securing the knockout, and then I could have threatened a Frenzy Plant at Azumeril. However, we do manage to keep alignment and shield advantage. But today is a school day. The first time using Chesnaught, and I really need to learn quickly, as I think I'm playing it pretty poorly and not getting the best out of it. We're just going to save 2 shields for Sableye at this stage. The opponent throws the Ice Beam, taking me out. The opponent's final Pokemon is Shadow Walrein, and Sableye up shields is going to easily be able to clean up. Unlike Chesnaught, Shadow Sableye is a Pokemon I'm really familiar with. I use it a lot. I'm going to throw this foul play one before the opponent reaches the Icicle Sphere. The opponent invests that final shield. Sableye will be winning CMP, so we can throw 5 Shadow Claws. Throw the foul play on the CMP type. Foul play will be taking care of the Walrein, and when Azumeril does return, 1 Shadow Claw away from the next foul play, and even though it's resisted, Shadow Sableye doesn't care, and that's going to be all she wrote. GG's, and thanks for playing. So what I personally have found, if you're going to use a Pokemon, like me, something you've never used before, pair it with 2 Pokemon you're really comfortable with, so if you make a few misplays with the new one, you can bail yourself out with the Pokemon you're familiar with. In this battle, we see the Walrein mirror. The opponent full sent the Earthquake. I pause the turn, making sure the opponent didn't catch. I send my own Earthquake and then pivot out into Sableye. Shadow on Shadow Crime. Icicle Sphere has been buffed, so I'm going to shield this up. If the opponent continues to stay in, I would have thrown on the CMP tie. However, the opponent switched out into Nidoqueen, and my god, Nidoqueen isn't a Sableye response. The first foul play gets them super low. The opponent actually throws a Poison Fang. This is resisted. Sableye is going to get the full Shadow Claw farm down. Back out comes Walrein. We're already at the next foul play. Foul play draws the first Protect Shield. Rank 1 Sableye with a lowered defense still makes the next one. 0, 15, 15, baby. Let's fucking go. The opponent's final Pokemon is their own Sableye. And as I have been pretty frustrated at this game, stay in school kids, learn to count. We're going to catch a return for no reason whatsoever, and the opponent is going to concede the match. I apologise to that trainer. Moving on to the next one. Walrein into the tin can, 2 better responses in the back, so pivot out into Shadow Sableye. This is why you want to run Shadow Sableye and not the normal one. You can see 2 foul plays knock out this bulky bird. The opponent can throw whatever they like. We don't need to shield. I am going to attempt to CMP tie the opponent to the next Sky Attack. The opponent falls for CMP, which is absolutely beautiful. Shadow Sableye, my god. I know this is a Chesnaught feature, but if you haven't built Shadow Sableye yet, please do it. The opponent makes a nice play of no bubble in the Sky Attack, allowing themselves a little bit more farm. However, it doesn't really matter. Walrein can tank all of this energy. I'm going to commit to the full Powder Snow farm down. The opponent isn't going to make 2 moves. Back out comes Registeel, and I'm full sending the Earthquake. Does the opponent respect the damage? Yes, they do. I pivot out into Chesnaught, and once again, we're core breaking this opponent. Up 2 shields, I think the opponent should be top left in. However, if they want the work of Chesnaught, my god, can they have it. I'm going to shield this up. Even if the opponent baits me, they're not going to make the return. The opponent throws the foul play. We get the Vine Whip farm down, and the opponent then does concede. Moving on to the next one. Finally, Walrein wins lead. Just kidding, we fucking lose yet another lead. So I pivot out into Chesnaught, as Chesnaught is my soft response. Well, is it even a response? Not particularly, as if the opponent dares to throw the psychic, we'll get one shot. I dare the opponent. The opponent goes for a masturbate, and I'm not falling for any of that silly nonsense. Chesnaught already at the next frenzy plant. So we've got a shield advantage and got meta chance so low. Chesnaught popping off. I wait out my full timer, knowing the opponent is going to have a Sableye response. The opponent throws the ice punch. My switch timer has called off, so I can switch out if I want. Let's see what their Sableye response is. Yikes, Azumeril. Not fantastic. I'm going to bank a boatload of energy, then pivot out into Walrein. The opponent holds their energy, send out Umbreon. So they've actually got 2 Sableye responses. Big yikes. Umbreon, super bulky. I doubt they shield. Fuck my life. The opponent shields the Earthquake. Things aren't looking fantastic, but I know my Walrein. Like I said earlier, play 2 Pokemon you're really familiar with. I throw 1 Powder Snow and the Icicle Sphere. I'm super low, however I know I am going to survive this. We're going to be really low, but 1 HP and a Dream Baby. I'm not going to throw 1 Powder Snow, as that Snarl will be taking me out. This Icicle Sphere will put this Umbreon into Power Gem range. Sableye is going to need to counter 2 things that are supposed to counter me. Power Gem takes care of the Umbreon. Back out comes Azumeril. Sableye with 2 Protect Shields, 2 high behind, is smelling blood and is about to cook this silly fairy. We're going to throw with the first Power Gem, getting Azumeril super low. This mighty blue mouse is slow as fuck. Takes 6 years to make charge moves. We shield up the play rough. We're going to be able to make 1 final Power Gem, and Sableye is an Azumeril and Umbreon counter confirmed. You heard it here first. GG's. My god, Walrein losing another lead. So I've got no idea why I played this matchup, how I did. Probably getting annoyed, to be honest. I throw at 6. Obviously you want to throw at 1, 4 or 7. Do as I say and not as I do. But regardless of that, I assumed the opponent would be better than me and attempt to throw at the correct fast move timings. We do manage to catch the Rock Slide onto Sableye, and the opponent brings out Azumeril. Yikes. In a lot of battles in today's video, we've lost lead and we've been hard punished on the safe switch. However, we have managed to win the match. So I think some points that you need to note are you need to continue to throw at good timing. Obviously, I threw at absolute potato timing a few times in today's video. I think that's come a bit out of practice. However, I normally throw at pretty good timing and I always maximise my energy. Like you're going to see here, I farm up to 100, throw in the Earthquake. Earthquake will secure the knockout. The opponent is going to know I'm now 1 Powder Snow away from the next charge move, which is going to allow me to make a very nice catch, giving myself a chance. However, unlike in a lot of times in this video, the opponent is just going to RPS me and we're going to move swiftly on. Normal service has resumed. We again lose lead. The opponent safe switches into Dugong. We are hitting each other for super effective. I throw the Frenzy Plant. The opponent commits that shield, and as they switched a bit late, I am going to play the 1 shield. Hopefully I am going to get both shields off the opponent. I'm going to throw 4 and the Superpower. Superpower, even debuffed, is going to land for huge damage. The opponent commits that shield. They're going to be forced to throw, not wanting to take another Superpower. I think after a 2-stage debuff, the Superpower won't secure the knockout, so I'm just going to take my shield advantage. Walrein double resist these Ice Shards. Drill Run is a pretty good move, however we easily survive 1. The opponent actually throws an Icy Wind. If you're in this situation, please don't Icy Wind, as I'm not likely to shield. And even with a debuff, we're still going to secure the knockout. I now pivot out into Sableye, up a shield. The opponent banks a move, switch out into Dubwall, and Sableye is about to clean up the first foul play. Gonna get this thing pretty low on 1 Shadow Claw away from the next one. The opponent is now at a payback, so even if the opponent baits me, they're not going to be able to reach a payback. They've got 1 chance to throw it. The opponent full sends. I invest my final shield. We're now going to be able to Shadow Claw farm all the way down. Back out comes Metachan, and we take that game. DD lead, another dreadful lead. So we pivot out into Chesnaught. The opponent gives me a huge energy lead and switch out into a Alolan Sandslash. Alolan Sandslash, love to shield, I bait him with a Frenzy Plant. and that bait is going to be huge. We can now play out the 2 shields you were seeing with Wind CMP, and we're just going to continue to now throw superpowers on the CMP type trainer. You aren't going to take back switch. The opponent invests their final shield, and I am definitely matching. It takes Sandalash 5 Shadow Claws, 2 each Ice Punch, so again I'm going to throw 5 Vine Whips and the superpower, even debuff. This will easily knock out as it's double super effective. The opponent sends out Dugong, got a 2-stage lowered defense. I commit to their Frenzy Plant. We do make it. We can't throw the 4th Vine Whip for good timing, as that Ice Shard did take me out. We land the Frenzy Plant, even debuff, does huge damage. The opponent then pivots out into Deoxys, and we've got the alignment that we want. The opponent throws the Thunderbolt. I throw 5 and the foul play in case the opponent attempts to throw the Psycho Boost. They actually committed to an extra counter. However, back out comes Dugong, and this is just game over. Icy Wind takes me out. However, Walrein at full health is going to have no problem taking care of this Dugong. The opponent is playing it out, hoping to have a heart attack or lag out. However, trainer, none of that is going to happen as I made this video, so evidently I'm still alive and well. GG's and thanks for playing. If you're going to take one thing away from this video, it is that Walrein is a fucking dreadful lead. Another lost lead, we pivot into Chesnaught. We always say switching to Chesnaught against Metachan, and this opponent's got a knockdown. Superpower is nice coverage too, do get him into the red, but holy smokes, again we're countered in the lead and hard countered on the switch. Can we pull off another dub? The opponent has a whole shit ton of energy. We're just going to come into Walrein, commit to the Powder Snow farm down. Walrein pretty thick. The opponent sends the Shadow Ball. They don't actually make the second Sky Attack. I think double Sky Attack would have been the play. Switch timer pops up. I pivot out into Sableye. Come on, Sableye. Please core break this opponent. The opponent sends out Swampert. Do we have a chance? Let's see. As the opponent threw the Ice Punch, that is going to give me a chance to snipe this Swampert with the banked Icicle Sphere. I need to keep this Sableye out of Ice Punch range. However, we're getting pretty close to it now. We throw the foul play on the CMP tie. Swampert takes 5, then 4, then 5 to each Hydro Cannon. This foul play forces the final shield, and I'm going to build up as much energy. I'm going to throw 4, snipe with the Icicle Sphere. This will be securing the knockout. I need Walrein to make the Icicle Sphere. Come on, Walrein, get there. No, Metachan gets the farm down. We make the foul play, but foul play isn't going to knock out. So despite me trying my best, we take a loss. GG's to that opponent. Let's see if we can bounce back to winning ways. Holy crap, 1 lead. Let's fucking go. However, I think the only other dominant lead we had in the video I ballsed up. So let's see if we can manage to keep alignment. I anticipated the opponent attempting to catch, so I shield the Seed Bomb. The opponent does attempt to catch on a Lanturn, so I'm going to throw the Earthquake for massive damage or forcing a shield. We force a shield. I can now send out the mighty Chesnaught, and Chesnaught absolutely walls this thing, much like that annoying bear trap. The opponent throws the Thunderbolt, and that trainer did absolutely nothing. We can tank multiple moves from this silly electric fish. The opponent throws the Surf. I'm getting close to 100 energy, so I'm going to throw the Frenzy Plant. I'm going to go for an Undercharge to get even more farm. The Undercharge is pretty good, if I do say so myself. The opponent now sends out Knockdown. So we've got pretty good alignment. We throw the first Superpower, getting them pretty low. Unfortunately, we don't make the second. At this stage, the key to victory will be Sableye. This bird is now in foul play range. We survive the Sky Attack. The opponent makes a catch of the Icicle Sphere onto Trevenant. They actually invest the shield as well, and this is just game over. Instead of foul playing that bird, we can knock it out of the sky with some rocks. We shield up the Shadow Ball, commit to the Shadow Claw farm down, back out, comes Knockdown, and they can eat some rocks to the face. GG's and thanks for playing. In the next battle, we see another Metachan lead. Yikes. I'm sure you've seen numerous times in the video. I'm going to pivot into Chesnaught. Let's see what the opponent wants to do. The opponent stays in, so I'm going to fire off the Frenzy Plant immediately. Frenzy Plant goes unshielded. The opponent is going to need to Psychic to take me out. I really hope they bait me with an Ice Punch. The opponent actually throws a power-up punch. I'm going to look to CMP tie to the next power-up punch with the Superpower. Superpower forces a shield. Superpower would knock out, and I want to lower my own defense so the opponent gets minimal farm. The opponent does now counter me all the way down. I'm going to wait out my full timer, send out Sableye and look to Shadow Claw farm down. The opponent doesn't want to get farm down. They send out Quag. I pivot out into Walrein, and Walrein is going to be sacrificed to the Poke Gods. We outpace them to a potential Stone Edge. We throw the Icicle Sphere. The opponent is at the Stone Edge, and hashtag they are not fucking baiting. Stone Edge does return me to my Pokeball, however Quag offers 0 fast move pressure. So we can give back our shield here. We're now in the 1-to-1 shield, but Sableye is absolutely loaded. The opponent's final Pokemon is the Bear Trap. We've got a whole heap of energy, is the opponent count, and I continue to overfarm, anticipating the opponent making a catch. They haven't tried to catch yet. This foul play draws the final shield. The opponent continues to stay in. Sableye makes one final foul play. Shadow Sableye absolutely going off once again. That Shadow Claw will be knocking out. The opponent full sends the Earthquake, and one Shadow Claw takes care of Metachan. Moving on to the next one. We see a much more neutral lead, the battle of the bulky water types. Pretty long drawn out match, if I'm honest. We're both hitting each other full resisted with our quick moves, and our charge moves are pretty fucking expensive. The opponent strikes first with the Play Rough, I return fire. With the Earthquake we get ourselves early shield advantage. The opponent sends out Vigoroth. I bank an Icicle Sphere for later and send out Sableye. Sableye pretty good, especially in its shadow form against Vigoroth. The opponent can hit us for neutral with Bulldoze, but Bulldoze is a fucking shit move. I farm up, fire off the foul play. Foul play isn't lethal. We're still outside of body slam range. The opponent gets greedy, allowing me to make one more foul play. Foul play does secure the knockout. Azumeril is going to get a nice bubble farm down. The opponent actually sends out Dunsparce, and Dunsparce is about to get absolutely wrecked. I throw the foul play on alignment, but I don't really care as the Shadow Claws are double resisting at this stage. I'm running around with my t-shirt on my head, celebrating a goal like a child in a playground because Chesnaught core breaks the back line, and I'm going to take a very easy dub. Moving on to the next one. Walrein into Sableye. The opponent say switches into Registeel. One superpower doesn't knock out from full health, so I let the opponent strike first. They throw a Zap Cannon bait. Interesting. I farm up to the back-to-back superpowers. One superpower doesn't knock out. However, I am counting lock-ons. I'm going to look to CMP tie to the next charge move. Superpower will be lethal from this range. The opponent can send back out Sableye. However, Sableye isn't going to appreciate this Frenzy Plant. Even 2-stage debuff, it's going to do a lot of damage. The opponent lets it go. I pivot back out into Walrein, not wanting the opponent to farm me all the way down. The opponent's final Pokemon is Tapu Fini. We full send the Earthquake and the opponent invests a very good shield. They farm up to a potential Moonblast. I respect it and the opponent baits me. Not fantastic. However, you can see Tapu Fini not the bulkiest. These resisted Powder Stones are doing a lot of damage. The opponent correctly shields up another Earthquake, and at this stage now I just need chip damage. Icicle Sphere won't be lethal. However, the opponent is still going to need to Moonblast to take me out. And at this stage now, Sableye is going to clean up once again. Moonblast takes me out. I come into Sableye. The opponent sends out their own Sableye. I can invest my final Protect Shield here. I'm just going to throw the foul play as soon as I reach it, as I definitely lose CMP with my 0 attack. Foul play secures the knockout. Tapu Fini is on minimal HP and the opponent concedes the match. So those were the battles with Chesnaught. Chesnaught is an absolute monstrous core breaker. You saw throughout this video it was able to core break many teams. So it's been a while since I've uploaded. I've not been playing all that many battles, and I think I'm not even playing that well this season, but this team did get me some good success. However, as my work schedule is calming down, I'm going to look to get back into battling. I think today I've thrown alignment about 4 or 5 times and it really pissed me off, to be honest. So as always, kids, stay in school, learn to count, always throw an optimal fast move timing, always maximise your energy, and even when you're hard counting in the lead and on the switch, you give yourself a chance of winning. So if you're enjoying the content, smash that like button. If you're new, consider subscribing. If you like your battles featured on my channel, a link to a battle submission form is down below. And as always, a huge thank you to everyone for watching, and I will see you all in the next one.